So just to set it up for people who might not be familiar, the University of Oklahoma is facing national criticism after removing a psychology instructor who gave a conservative student a failing grade on an essay. Samantha Fulnecki, a junior, claims she faced religious discrimination, but the graduate instructor, Mel Kurth, told her she failed to follow the prompt and used offensive and discriminatory language. Thanks to her connections, Fulnecki was able to gain the support of OU President Joseph Hurwitz, Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt, and the Teacher Freedom Alliance, which is important. The American Association of University Professors is circulating a petition right now urging the university to support academic freedom. It's gotten over 14,000 signatures so far. Consciously, many people know you as the ultra viral educator for the culture, but you were both a student and a professor here at OU. That's where I first met you. What's your take on this?
I think it's a bad look for university, man. I think that Samantha Fulnacki being able to expose University of Oklahoma complicity within fascism and then wanting to always be accepted by Donald Trump's administration just really just to me make the university look bad. If I'm being fully honest with you, I've been processing like, do I need to sue the university? Do I need to get some more alumni together? Because like my business is directly tied to my, you know what I'm saying, my degree. And the prestige of the degree being devalued definitely has a direct impact on my brand. But more importantly, just as my alma mater, University of Oklahoma, and what it stands for, I think that the respect of the university is definitely going down the drain. And I think like a lot of people are reflecting, asking themselves, like, what does it mean to have a university of higher education in a state that's lacks in education? And it's just when OU conducts itself this way, it reflects. You feel me? Like, yeah, this is what the rest of the country thinks about Oklahoma and Oklahoma institutions and Oklahoma leadership. And then it's thinking about it like Samantha Fulnacki was able to play victim in a way and claim religious persecution when you have the president of the university, you have the governor of the state, and you have literally the president of the United States all in your corner, and you are claiming to be this martyr of Christianity. It's just like, man, like the last thing I say to end this is all our holidays is Christian. We ain't never had a president that wasn't Christian. We have all different ways of discriminating and being prejudiced towards other religions. The idea that Christians are being persecuted in America is something that I not only like scoff at, it's something that is like, nah, I don't think that you have your eyes open and we don't live in the same reality.
Hmm. Well, I mean, Fulnecki has been able to get thousands of, conservatives backing her. She's gotten on primetime TV like at lightning speed. It almost seemed like this was orchestrated in some way. One thing that caught my eye is when it comes to the Teacher Freedom Alliance, Ryan Walters, of course, Oklahoma's former, Department of De-Education, was giving contracts, special contracts to this organization before joining them as the new executive director. And so I'm wondering if you think that Ryan Walters or any of his, his crew were involved in any way, or maybe what role you think they might have played in this.
I think even if they didn't have a direct tie or direct relationship to what was going on, they had a hand in curating the climate that made it conducive and made it rational and made it appropriate for somebody like Samantha Fulnacki to make the university on national stage embarrass itself, especially when it comes to holding up our students to a certain academic standard. I think it also I think that Ryan Walters probably would love to jump on board too because it's really with the trans identity witch hunt that says that we should always already be worried about trans existence because that's the reason why we lose in healthcare and that's the reason why we have no access to education because the damn trans women, you know what I'm saying? It's like what's that? But also some I seen man a couple of days ago that really kind of pissed me off.
Mhm.
Samantha Fortnite gave a interview.
Mhm.
She smiled and bragged in the interview about how it only took her 30 minutes to write this analytical paper. She basically admits that she didn't even read the paper she was giving the reflection or analytical review on.
Mhm.
She just has some strong opinions, needed to get to this dance recital with her friend, and hurried up and wrote the paper. So now you have somebody that's lost their job, that's having to go through a whole bunch of effort and I'm saying energy to go find a legal team
Mhm. Yep.
because she wanted to do an assignment in 30 minutes. It's
And
like this something else I say right here too. I got one of my homeboys right now. He's somebody I was on a debate team with. If you don't know if you remember Damo, Damo is right now. Well, he just technically graduated from University of Oklahoma literally a couple of days ago
mm,
with his master's degree. That master's degree was going. It was HR. At first, it was called DEI. It was around DEI. When Trump got in office, they changed the name. So
mm.
now I'm just thinking of all the various ways that the University of Oklahoma has. Think about Trump ain't even been in office for a year yet. These are all the ways that the university is already conforming and assimilating into white Christian nationalism. You know what I'm saying? It's like these are the ways. DEI bad, boom. Even this, people that's listening right now, think about this. Racism and Christian nationalism has always went hand in hand, and how a lot of the conservatives are talking about being persecuted in terms of Christianity is just a racial dog whistle. It's the reason why they're able to go after certain cultural phenomenons claiming religious freedom, because the scene is getting in the way of their whiteness. The scene is getting in the way of how they want to express themselves, and if you get in the way of how I want to celebrate my Jesus, then you're doing something to me. And it's like that ain't even how that works. That's your religion, not mine. And it go like that's how I'm looking right now. It's not ironic that the KKK, you know what I'm saying, was able to fold Christianities in ways, fold Christian doctrine in a way that allowed for it to signal to other races that this is the way that God wanted to be, white over black, light over dark.
Well, ain't that kind of really what is at the heart of all of this? They claim to be victims, while really what they're trying to do is force their version, their ideology that they call Christianity onto everyone, onto the populace, onto these educational systems, onto the federal government. And when people push back and actually assert the Constitution, actually assert academic policy, suddenly even those people who are supposed to uphold it are capitulating. So, and your take on that interview is something I saw that really made me want to reach out to you because it's like, for the last few
Embarrassing.
years, it's embarrassing. But
It's
it's like the
embarrassing.
DEI and the transgender hate is what they've been using these last few years to really just further their agenda. And how do we get people? I mean, you've been trying to educate people for years, that especially even some of our own people who hold some of these these stigmas. How do we break through?
I think we break through by showing people the real lived impacts on what people doing. Like a lot of us never deal with the conclusion or the impacts of how we move and how we send certain attitudes and how we create certain atmospheres and climates. So I think that from me being a teacher and being a debater, something I learned at the university is being able to show an individual, hey, these are the implications and the outcome if you continue to do this way. Can we do a simulation on if you do this, what are the possible outcomes? And it's just to me thinking about all the possible outcomes that we have when black people and poor people uniquely start to celebrate and champion Christian nationalism, and how that Christian nationalism is really just a Trojan horse for white supremacy. And if you're not able to see that, you're just starting to see how, hey, they might have taken DEI at the top of their bill, but they have taken out black education as well from the curriculum. They might have taken drag queens out of the classroom, but they also gonna have your kids not getting no breakfast. You know what I'm saying? Lunch. That's happening here in Texas. So we're just thinking about the various ways that we get duped into buying into these sensationalized ways that Christians are being persecuted, and how that is used to coerce our consent into doing some stuff that's really anti-us. May it be against our economic status, may it be against our racial identity, may it be against about politically how we want to get progression, how we want to get power. It's just a lot of ways. It's us Southerners, uniquely us Southerners. You know what I'm saying? Like throughout the South, you feel me? Like we gotta really be critical about how the Trump administration is able to use our feelings, our emotions, our you know what I'm saying, relationship to spirituality to get a emotional response from us using, you know what I'm saying, what we come like using what we came into. You know what I mean? It's just like even though I don't practice, you know what I'm saying, the way I was brought up, I'm still very mindful, and my spirit still is moved as well when people start to use certain language and play with certain concepts and say that I'm being attacked, or say that there is a violent act happening. You know what I'm saying? And it's just that's what's happening right now, the playbook.
So how do we break through to the people that way, but how do we break the playbook? How do we stop Project 2026? I mean, you
To
know,
me, it's the people, bro. To me, I think that like Then 2024, I seen probably 2025 still was able to move so miraculously because a lot of people still didn't first A know what it is,
Mm,
or B if they knew what it is, they ain't really get the impacts of it. So for me, it's really thinking about how when trends happens, usually a cultural norm, you know what I'm saying, comes about because the rest of society buys into it in a way where it becomes a norm. To
mm,
me, you asking me how can we undo the playbook? This playbook is set in stain and sustained. It's set in stone and sustained by cultural norms and about how a lot of us relate to each other from a norm way. So to me, for me, what I think about it is in order to break this playbook, we have to go back and make sure the people that hold the pages down understand, hey, these are the impacts of holding the pages down this way. Because right now it's a disconnect between action and impact. And right now I think the people that's most impacted by the playbook, the people in many instances that's able to they trick us and indoctrinate us into buying into the playbook in the name of freedom or security or safety or prosperity. And it's just like teaching people like, nah, they don't give you that. You think about right now, the way that they've been able to manufacture fascism with ICE cannot be, you can't ignore the way that a bunch of society has bought into the rhetoric around being people being inherently illegal. You can't ignore it by thinking about the way that the people, the general public, I ain't talking about no policymakers, I ain't talking about billionaires, I'm talking about this everyday Oklahomans, Texans. Think about the ways in which you know people that play into this champion mass deportation.
yeah.
And think about how there is no mass deportation agenda or legislation if we as a people ain't going for it. And it's understanding everything you know about history. Everything you know about history is, regardless of what the law is, if they can't police us in a particular way, in order for them to keep the infrastructure, they're going to change to make sure you understand the authority and just make it where we don't have to go by that one. Even think about like right now, they're in 2020. Then in
Mm,
2020, we seen a bunch of legislation get passed, and it had nothing to do with the election in 2020. It had to do with people being pissed off and mad in the streets. And it's just like that was undoing the playbook. Y'all said that this what happened. Social media told me this what happened. The playbook got broken. The playbook was the media just buy into the general public just buy into what the traditional media say.
yeah.
If traditional media say that the person had a gun, they had a gun. We like the playbook, the people that on social media. That's why y'all people rock with me because they're like, hey, I was making content between 2019, 2020, 2021. I'm giving the people a different idea to think about what they saying in the news, think about what they're doing with the police, thinking about what they're doing to black people.
Mm,
Now it's making it where the people is now questioning.
yeah.
Now it's not as easy for you to just, you know what I'm saying? To me, that's how I think about it. Like, nah, that's the reason why they take education away. That's the reason why Donald Trump brags about smart people not liking him. That's the reason why he's happy that uneducated people vote for him. Because he understands that as long as I keep them uneducated, they're gonna believe whatever I tell them. So if I tell them Haitians eating cats and dogs, and tell them that Somali Americans is stealing the billions of dollars from the Minnesota government,
Mm,
the last thing I said on that is like when a university does the things that they doing right now, it makes it where a lot of us down south we still seeing in proximity to the plantation because they see us as being irrational. And when the university acts in being irrational this way, it not only sends a bad message to the trans students and trans faculty and staff at the University of Oklahoma, it also allows for different people to buy into that confirmation bias that say all the people down south, and they be black or white, they're dumb and something that we got to recognize as a region, like this engaging in just like shit regionalism, is what we want to call it.
you ain't
A lot
lying.
of America, whether you black or white or Hispanic or middle class or upper class, a lot of America view us down here as being stupid.
Hmm.
When our leadership make dumb ideas and make dumb actions like this, like what Oklahoma Kevin Stitt doing and President Harris is doing, this buys into the idea that says that the people down south are bad decision makers. They have bad leadership. They are not empathetic. They don't critically think. They don't have integrity. They don't care about academic standards. Like all these things, what they say about us Southerners is like, hey, Kevin Stitt, I know you don't care. President Harris, I know you don't care. But this is gonna impact how you get those recruits. I know you care about them boys competing for national championships. You was smoking dope and dog food if you don't believe that they care about getting the degree, unless you're gonna be able to make sure they're getting the NIL money rolling in, and you don't care about the degree. And even that, to me, it's just it's a lot to be said about what Samantha Fornacki, OU, SAE, Kevin
Yeah.
Stitt, Ryan Walters. You know what I'm saying? Just like keep on naming. It's like, hey. The only time we hear about Oklahoma is what? Racism, football, and the Thunder. We
Yeah.
got more to offer in Oklahoma than that. I lived there for 13 years. I know it's more to offer in Oklahoma than the Sooner football, Thunder basketball, and racism. That's what the state known for. That's the holy trinity of Oklahoma. And it's like, come on, man. We come on.